it really seems to be right now very, very murky, I have to tell you. The initial understanding here in this region is that the Board of Peace was supposed to be, as you said, overseeing the operations of the technocratic new administrative government inside Gaza. But when you look at what the Board of Peace appears to be offering leaders, in addition to demanding a $1 billion investment in a slush fund that Trump alone would run, it doesn't even mention Gaza. And so the understanding is that Trump is attempting single-handedly to put in place something that his advisors, Steve Bannon and Miller, have suggested, which is basically, without openly saying so, to replace the UN or significant parts of the UN. And that is why France, in its response, mentioned that it continues to believe in the UN Charter. That may have irritated Donald Trump himself or some of his advisors, but regionally, we really do not know how this could operate, how this may come into being. Prime Minister Netanyahu has said he's been invited, but he hasn't shown any of these letters like other leaders have. And today we found out through Jackie Houry, the Haaretz correspondent, the Israeli newspaper correspondent, that Israel seems to be preventing the entry into Israel of this Palestinian technocratic governance commission. And if that in fact is the case, that would mean that nothing here has changed, no matter the US announcements and declarations. It would mean that this Board of Peace is not yet constituted. It's not apparently accepted by many crucial countries in the region and far away. Plus, the Palestinian subcommission, let's say, supposed to be actually running Gaza, is not even being allowed any access to the territory.
Noga, it's also controversial, isn't it, about which more local countries to where you are there, including Israel, you mentioned it a moment ago, will actually be on this board.
That's right. And I'm glad you asked that, because that is another kind of mini bomb awaiting us. President Trump, as we've seen, has invited basically whoever he wanted: Pakistan, Kazakhstan, all manner of countries that he considers allied to him personally. Among those countries, he already announced that the foreign minister of Qatar and the vice president, if I'm not mistaken, the foreign minister of Turkey, excuse me, and a top official from Qatar would be on this board. This put Prime Minister Netanyahu in quite a bit of hot water over the weekend, because he has promised his ministers, who are very, very extremist right-wing, and the citizens of Israel, that Qatar and Turkey, Qatar in particular as the top sponsor of Hamas that attacked Israel in 2023, would have no role whatsoever, zero, in the future of Gaza. He also promised them that Hamas would be completely demolished and cease to exist, and many other such promises, all of which Trump appears to be ignoring. But the matter of Qatar and Turkey, and even surprisingly Egypt, with which Israel has a peace treaty, have become controversial. Yesterday, Netanyahu said in a statement that there would be no Turkish and Qatari soldiers, boots on the ground in Gaza. To my knowledge, no one has ever suggested that, and the matter remains that top Qatari and Turkish officials apparently will have an important role in guiding matters in Gaza. All of this is still very much, I would say, an ungelled proposal. And so for now, and especially for Gazans, nothing is changing. It's a cold winter. They don't have enough tents. They don't have enough blankets. They have barely enough food, and nothing for now seems to be shifting.